Rex had been trained for more than just helping his veteran owner navigate PTSD. The German Shepherd had been taught to protect something precious, something James could never bear to lose. When animal control officers came to investigate a complaint about the dangerous dog, Rex led them to a discovery that would change everything. Because sometimes the most important treasures are hidden in the most unlikely places. James Wilson was 45 years old with an overgrown beard and tired eyes. He'd been living under the interstate bridge for 3 years. With him was his faithful companion Rex, a large, intelligent German Shepherd. 6 a.m. James got up from his makeshift bed of cardboard. Rex immediately jumped up and came to James's side. "Morning, buddy," James said, stroking Rex's head. "We survived another day." Rex wagged his tail, but his eyes were alert and watchful. Because Rex had a special mission, to protect something very important. Nobody knew James's past. When people saw him, they just thought, homeless vet. An old soldier, victim of the system, cast out from society. But the truth was much more complex. When he returned from Afghanistan in 2019, James's life had been perfect. His wife, Linda, his 8-year-old son, Michael, a beautiful home. And on his chest hung America's highest honor medal, the Congressional Medal of Honor. Then everything had fallen apart. In 2021, James's life had turned to disaster. PTSD, nightmares, alcohol addiction. Linda couldn't take it anymore and left with Michael. "You're not the man I married anymore, James," Linda had said. "That medal changed you." James kept staring at his medal, Congressional Medal of Honor. In Afghanistan, he'd charged alone into enemy fire to save 5 of his buddies. He'd been wounded but saved 5 lives. Now that medal felt like a curse. In 2022, he lost his house. Couldn't pay the bills, couldn't work. Alcohol had destroyed everything. As a last resort, he pawned his medal for $500. "Is this a real Congressional Medal of Honor?" the pawn shop owner had asked. "Yes," James had said, eyes welling up, "but it doesn't matter anymore." He'd taken the money and spent it on alcohol, but without his medal he felt completely lost. Rex had come to James during that period. A special service dog trained by his old military. It took 6 months. Finally, Rex found the medal. In the pawn shop, inside a glass display case, at night, Rex had found the shop, gotten past the alarms, and taken the medal. It wasn't theft, it was a retrieval operation. Rex had hidden the medal in a special place, somewhere James wouldn't know about but could find when necessary. For 3 years that medal had been under Rex's protection. Margaret Stevens was 70 years old, an irritable woman who lived near the bridge. She'd been bothered by James and Rex for 3 years. "That dog is dangerous," she constantly complained. "Someone's going to get hurt." Rex was actually a very gentle dog. He'd never hurt anyone, but because he was big and protective, people were scared. Margaret resorted to her last option. She called animal control. "There's a wild dog under the bridge," she said on the phone. "The owner is homeless and can't control the dog." Animal control officer Jessica Torres took the call. She was 30 years old, loved dogs, but took her job seriously. "All right, ma'am, we'll investigate," Jessica said. But Jessica didn't know this wouldn't be a simple animal control case. The next morning, Jessica came to the bridge. With her was her partner, David Rodriguez, who was also a social services specialist. "Hello," Jessica said, approaching James. "I'm Jessica from Animal Control. We got a complaint about your dog." James stood up. Rex immediately came to James's side, but wasn't aggressive, just protective. "Rex doesn't hurt anyone," James said. "He's a good dog." Jessica looked at Rex. The dog really didn't look aggressive. There was a trained, disciplined air about him. "Is he a service dog?" Jessica asked. "Yes, trained for PTSD." David stepped in. "Mr. Wilson, James Wilson. Mr. Wilson, do you have permission to live here? Social services could help you." James shook his head. "I don't want help, I just want to be left alone." Jessica was observing Rex. The dog's behavior was strange. He kept looking at a specific spot under the bridge, acting like he was guarding something. "Rex seems very well trained," Jessica said. "Which training center was he from?" "A friend trained him, former soldier." Rex suddenly moved. He approached Jessica and gently tugged at her pant leg. "What's he doing?" David asked. James was surprised. "I don't know, he's never done that before." Rex was insistent. He was trying to pull Jessica's hand and lead her deeper under the bridge. "It's like he wants to show us something," Jessica said. James was worried. "Rex, stay here." But Rex wouldn't listen. He sensed that the secret he'd been keeping for 3 years was ready to be revealed. Jessica followed Rex curiously. David and James came behind them. Rex led them to the darkest corner under the bridge. There, behind a metal support beam, was something in a plastic.
"What is this?" Jessica asked. Rex pawed at the bag and barked. James looked in amazement. He'd never seen this bag before. Jessica put on gloves and took the bag. Inside was a small, heavy box. When she opened the box, her breath caught. Inside was a Congressional Medal of Honor. This is a Congressional Medal of Honor," Jessica gasped. David also looked at the box. "Is this real?" James looked at the box with tears in his eyes. "My medal." "Yours?" Jessica turned to James in amazement. "You're a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient?" James nodded. "I pawned it 3 years ago. I don't know how it got here." Rex came to James's side and rested his head against his leg, as if to say, "I was going to tell you, but the time wasn't right." Jessica examined the medal. It had James R. Wilson written on it and Afghanistan 2019 below. "This is real," Jessica said, "and it has your name on it." David looked at James in amazement. You're a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient." James sat down on the ground. "I was once." "What do you mean once?" Jessica asked. "This medal is yours for life." James told his story. The operation in Afghanistan, how he saved 5 buddies, then the PTSD, alcohol addiction, losing his family, and finally, "I pawned my medal," James said, "because it was worthless." Jessica and David listened quietly. "Worthless?" Jessica said. "This is America's highest honor medal." "But my family was gone. My house was gone. I'd collapsed." Rex moved even closer to James and licked his hand. "So how did this medal get here?" David asked. James looked at Rex. "I don't know." Jessica suddenly understood. Rex brought it, didn't he?" James looked at Rex in amazement. "What do you mean?" "Dogs can be trained for special missions. Maybe Rex was trained to bring back your medal." James remembered his friend Mike. "Mike, he said he'd specially trained him." Jessica smiled. "Rex has been protecting what you thought you'd lost for 3 years," David added. "And today he decided to show it to us." James stroked Rex's head. You did this for me, buddy?" Rex wagged his tail and barked, as if saying, "Yes, I brought back what belongs to you." Jessica took out her phone. "I need to verify this is authentic, but if this is real, what happens?" James asked. "You're a national hero, Mr. Wilson, and it's our duty to help you." An hour later, Jessica's research was complete. Documents from the Pentagon confirmed that James Robert Wilson was indeed a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. "Saved the lives of 5 military personnel in Afghanistan in 2019, Jessica read. "Single-handedly carried wounded comrades to safety under enemy fire." The crowd gave a standing ovation. Rex wagged his tail. After the ceremony, Linda and Michael came. James hugged his son for the first time in 3 years. "Dad," Michael said, "is Rex really a hero dog?" "Yes, son," James said. "He's our hero." Rex embraced the whole family, it seemed. His job was complete. James now counsels local veterans. Rex is still by his side, but no longer has secret missions. He has open missions, keeping James happy. One day a reporter asked James, "So what's your biggest lesson?" James stroked Rex's head. "Sometimes valuable things get lost,
but real love protects them. Rex taught me that loyalty and love are stronger than anything. And sometimes, he added, you never know who will save you. In my case, my savior was a four-legged, loyal friend. The moral of this story: don't judge people by their appearance. That homeless man might be a hero who risked his life for his country. And sometimes the greatest treasures are protected in the most unexpected places by the most loyal friends. James Wilson lived on the streets for 3 years. But Rex never gave up, and in the end, they both found their home. Because real home is wherever you are with those you love.